So I wanted to talk about a zero budget because this is something I'm very passionate about because I don't like spending money. I don't think many people do. So I literally started the business in my first year at university, and I really did start it on a shoestring. So the only thing I actually paid for was my stock, and I paid £500 for my website, and that was it. So in realistic terms, I've started a business on about £11,500. So today I want to talk about overcoming the challenge of finding reliable and qualified agents overseas. I want to talk about new tips to sell abroad online, and then I want to talk about risk versus opportunity because this is something I sort of run the business by, and it's something that I really enjoy. Right, so overcoming the challenge of finding reliable and qualified agents. In a nutshell, there is no easy way. I think having an agent, it works both ways, and I've been really fortunate in that all of my agents have found me. And I think that's quite important because I think an agent really needs to buy into your brand, otherwise they're not going to represent it well, they're not going to have the passion that you have for the brand, and I think that's really important. And I think the first thing about having an agent is thinking about whether they're going to be as passionate about it as you, because at the end of the day, you might be better at selling your brand than they are, and I think that's something that you really always have to think about. But having an agent can work really well if you do it properly. So I've got an agent that represents me in Belgium, and it works really well because I can't go over to Belgium, I'm in London, and obviously they can place orders and then come to shows like this, and I get to meet people that are actually buying my shoes, which is really exciting. And I think it's really important when you're having an agent to set targets with them. I say that's like the number one thing. And the really important thing about having an agent is you want to make them seem like they need you more than you need them, because obviously when they take over a territory, they're taking over sort of your existing business, so you have to give up some of your percentage of sales to them. So you've really got to act as if it's you that there's them that needs you more than they need you. Right. So the other thing, moving on, is there's other ways to export. You don't necessarily have to just have an agent. It's really easy in this day and age to sell yourself online. So I've been able to export through my website mainly. I've had orders from Australia, America, most of Europe, Iceland, Norway, all over, and they've just all come from being online. So I think, first of all, to get your website working and have international sales, and so you put sort of like you can deliver internationally online, and if that's all working, then it's endless. You can sell all around the world. So there's always one thing to look out for when you're selling abroad. Obviously, the delivery is a lot harder. So you obviously they have to be able to trust you because the delivery is going to take a lot longer. So I think if you personalize your emails, then they're always going to trust you more. So they want to be customers want to feel like they're communicating with an individual rather than a business, and I think that's always where I've done quite well. And then I've been able to promote internationally on a zero budget, mainly through blogging and social media. And it just, there's no easy way. It can come from any different route. So some random stylist from LA followed me on Instagram the other day, and I'm not even big on Instagram. I think I've got about 400 followers. And then Jamie Lynn Spears wore a pair of my shoes at some fantastic event in Los Angeles, and it just came really randomly. So I think just keep at it, keep plugging at social media, and you're just never going to know what will happen. And to be honest, there's no easy route, there's no exact route you should follow to exporting. I think you just got to keep at it, keep using all the channels you possibly can, and away you go. So the final thing I want to talk about is risk versus opportunity. This is something that I always live by. You've always got to think of the risks, but then you've got to think whether the risk is worth the opportunity. And I think in terms of business, when you're starting on a shoestring, like the opportunities are endless. So unless the risk is ridiculously, high, I always just think you should go for it, because if you lose anything, you're always going to learn from it. And I think you've just got to take the lunge and learn from your mistakes. and accept it. There isn't a single person in the world that hasn't made a mistake, but sometimes you just have to make mistakes and learn from it. So for example, when I start selling overseas, my business mentor at the Prince's Trust, because I've had some funding from the Prince's Trust, she always talks about bank charges, foreign exchange rates, or the delivery might be really expensive. And I just say, well, it might be. I might be making a lower margin, but at least I'm selling. I think, I'd rather make a lower margin and not sell than to be selling, to miss out on a sale because I forfeited 2% or something. So that's something what I've learned. And one word of advice I could say that in my experience, when I've done something successful, it's always been the most random route. It's always something small, as I say, like posting a random picture on Instagram that can lead to something big. So I think you should always seize you seize any opportunity that comes your way. Thank you.